Hi Mina, how are you doing?
Good morning, Paul. I'm fine. I visited England a week ago.
Oh, really? That's amazing. How was your trip? Did you enjoy it?
Yes, I did. I noticed that our cuisines are different, so I was surprised about it.
Yeah, I suppose they should be so. Russia and England are very different after all. Now that you've mentioned British customs, I got really interested. Could you tell me about them? And we can also compare them to the Russian ones. What do you think?
Yes, of course. First of all, the usual English meals are breakfast, lunch, tea, and dinner.
Well, our meals are pretty much the same, except for that not as many Russians prefer to have afternoon tea as British people do. Also, we have dinner around midday, but Englishmen eat it in the evening. And what about the meal size? In Russian, the biggest one is dinner, of course.
I agree with you because it's true that people in Britain have tea at 5 o'clock. It's a cup of tea with bread and butter and cake or biscuits. Well, dinner in the UK is the biggest meal of the day, and it comes rather late when the family gathered home.
Okay, I see. As for Russia, our last meal is the lightest one, and it doesn't usually come very late. You know, lots of people follow the old rules saying that we shouldn't eat after 6 o'clock. Well, let's then talk about food, shall we?
Yes, let's continue. As for British people, they have supper in the evening. Supper is a light meal. It's a meat dish followed by canned food or tea and cake. It's taken between 7 or 9 o'clock as a rule.
Okay, for supper, Russians generally have some sandwiches, fruit or biscuits, and some hot milk. Also, many of us like to get together and discuss all the recent events with the members of our families. So it seems that British and Russian customs have quite a lot in common. And what about other meals? What do British people usually have for breakfast and lunch?
English people like a continental breakfast of bread and butter and coffee. The usual English breakfast is quite a big one. It includes porridge, bacon and eggs, marmalade or jam and buttered roast, and tea or coffee. Speaking about lunch, it's generally all kinds of sandwiches, sometimes fish and chips, or a meat dish with plenty of vegetables, tea, coffee, and milk.
Well, there is nothing unusual or exotic in an average Britishman diet, I see. Speaking about Russia, some of us prefer to have a light continental breakfast, but most of us like to make it a big one. It usually includes porridge, fried eggs, sausages, maybe pancakes, and tea. Also, many people, especially students, eat very little or nothing at all. They have brunch later. As for dinner, as I already said, it's the biggest one. We can have some soup, meat or fish, potatoes, rice, or buckwheat porridge as garnish, and something for dessert. It can be a piece of cake or a few biscuits.
On the one hand, English cuisine is diverse. On the other hand, it's quite simple and nutritious. By the way, I forgot to tell you, the English drink tea 7 or 8 times a day. It's usually green. What do you think about our cuisine?
Well, that's quite a lot of tea, though I wonder if drinking so much upsets their stomachs. As for Russian cuisine, I suppose it's more diverse than the English one. There are sandwiches, different kinds of meat and fish too, but there are also many national dishes such as borscht, solyanka, and other kinds of soup and drinks, kvass for example. Also, I think that our food is a bit heavier than the British one. Moreover, plenty of us eat a lot of bread, which is not so good either.
Yeah, our cuisine is heavier than British one. We like to eat well. Oh, wait a minute, I remembered. I need to go to the shop.
Okay, see you later then. Bye bye and have a nice day.
See you soon.